Hey y'all! Pokemon Red using only Weedle had me contemplating my life choices as I blankly stared into the void, but this week should be a lot more fun. So in the spirit of Halloween, I'ma do me a spooky challenge by trying to beat Pokemon Red using only one Skeleton Kabutops. As usual, the rules are we can only use one Skeleton Kabutops in battle, and I can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of these videos on my channel. So, some people might be a little confused right now. How exactly is this even possible? Well, if you visit the Pewter City Museum and check out the exhibits, there's a Kabutops skeleton on display. More importantly, this means that there is a Kabutops skeleton sprite already coded into the game, and this gave me an idea. It should be relatively simple to replace Kabutops' regular sprite with the skeleton sprite and then play through the game with it. And it turns out, I was right. Scott's Thoughts runs a Discord group with fellow content creators, and so I reached out to them, and gym leader Matt was kind enough to modify the assembly of the game so that I could play this challenge on an original Pokemon Red cartridge. When you're finished with this video, please go check both of them out, because they are doing some pretty cool stuff. As for the stats and moves, they're the same as regular Kabutops. The level up moveset is really sparse, since the developers weren't expecting anyone to get a Kabutops until a much higher level than we'll be starting with. But the TMs and HMs more than make up for it. A great attack stat paired with a low special stat is a bit disappointing, especially since Kabutops' best moves are special and its worst ones are physical, but you can't win them all. Even so, I'm so excited I could RIP my pants, so let's do this! Off at Professor Oak's lab, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Kabutops so that our rival will pick Bulbasaur. By the end of the run, the rival will have a Venusaur, which not only will know the double super effective move Razor Leaf, but that move always critical hits when it lands, which makes it easily the hardest version of the rival to face. I don't know why I insist on making these things even harder for myself, but, well, here we are. Kabutops is known for being a swift swimmer that cuts enemies down with its two large scythes, so I nickname ours Swim Reaper. Kabutops starts off with Scratch, Harden, and Absorb all at level 1, and then it won't learn, well, really anything for a long time. It'll also learn Absorb a second time when it hits level 34? It's kind of like a good Halloween movie. We're getting a terrible sequel that nobody asked for, and was definitely not needed. Well, as for the starting moveset, it's not bad, and we'll especially be using Harden a lot later in the run, so that's good. And while Kabutops' rock-water typing is super weak to grass moves, right now, Bulbasaur only has the normal move Tackle. He's got Tackle, we got Scratch, so nothing scary yet, just paranormal moves? By the time I made it to Pewter City, Skeleton Kabutops was only level 6, but even so, that's more than enough to easily defeat Brock's rocks. After all, we've got the move Absorb. It's a grass-type move, and while we have lower special than attack, and Absorb is, well, only 20 base power, it is double super effective against Brock's two rock-ground types, with the added benefit of healing half of the damage that we deal. And we may have dominated Brock's Pokemon, but it's nothing personal. After all, us rock types have got to stick together. We're birds of a feather, or as I like to call it, pumpkindred spirits. With Brock defeated, I traversed Mount Moon, where I of course picked up the Dome Fossil, and then head on to take Misty down at the Cerulean City Gym. And I thought this would be an easy battle, and let me tell you why. Misty has good AI, so she'll prioritize super effective moves while avoiding not very effective moves. I thought that the trainer AI only checked the primary typing for this consideration, but Staryu spams Water Gun, and since Kabutops is a primary water type, I'm realizing now I truly have no idea what the heck is going on. So, I don't know, I'll just have to come back to this shit later. Whoopsie, I don't know what came over me there. sorry. Oh, there must be a full moon tonight, because I'm transforming into a swearwolf. North of Cerulean City, I take on the rival Bubs on the Nugget Bridge. Unlike our first encounter, I'm worried about this battle because Bubs' Bulbasaur now has the grass move Vine Whip, which will do a lot of damage to Skeleton Kabutops. I do have a strategy though. and it involves getting very hard. After we take down the Pidgeotto, thankfully, without taking a sand attack, the Abra comes out and spams the useless teleport, which gives Skeleton Kabutops carte blanche to use 6 Hardens. This not only maximizes our defense stat, but it also raises our attack a decent amount. And for those that might not know, each time your stats are modified in battle, the boost to your stats given by the badges are reapplied in this game. And since we have the Boulder Badge from Brock, using Harden boosts our attack, and with Scratch, we're able to claw through the rest of Bubs' team very easily. I don't get to find out how much these badge boosts actually mattered against the Bulbasaur, since Scratch crits twice, and crits in this game ignore all stat changes. Thankfully, it just used Tackle, so we ended up with the win anyways. Looks like I got all worked up over nothing, and in the end, Bubs was October rated? Look, I know that joke was candy corny, but honestly, what did you expect her? Alright, I gotta stop. After clearing out Nugget Bridge, we head down to Vermilion City and hop aboard the SS Sand to take on the rival once again in a back-to-back Bubs battle. The SS Sand is where you get the HM for cut, hence the reason for this small Scythe quest. Also on the ship is the TM for Body Slam, which I teach to Kabutops. And personally, I think this is the best attack that Skeleton Kabutops will get all game, including moves like Hydro Pump and Blizzard. 85 base power, normal move that works off of our higher attack stat, 1/3 chance to paralyze any Pokemon that isn't Ghost or Normal type, and we're able to badge boost it right now using Harden. So that's right, as soon as Pidgeotto goes down, we can badge boost against the Raticate. We resist its normal type attacks anyways, and even more so once we start boosting our defense with Harden. Yeah, don't forget, it does that. And with the badge boost to attack, Kabutops cleaves through Bubs' entire team using Body Slam. I guess you could call Kabutops Alexander Slamilton? You know, from the Broadway play by Goblin Manuel Miranda? Okay, I promise you the jokes get better. Alright, well, now we have to beat Misty in order to progress the story, but this time around, we've got more levels and a much better attack with Body Slam. And this time against the Staryu, we withstand the water guns well enough that we can badge boost our attack stat with Harden. And by the time we're done, you can see that Body Slam crushes Staryu. Skeleton Kabutops manages to survive the Starmie's Bubble Beam, and we finish it off with one decisive blow. Heck, Kabutops bursts their bubbles like a throbbing pimple, or as I like to call it, the Exorcist. Now that we can use Cut outside of battle, it's time to take on Lieutenant Surge at the Vermilion City Gym. We are weak to electric type moves, and technically I can skip this battle for now and come back later, but I decided to just go for it anyways while we're here. I grab a couple of Hardens against the Voltorb to boost our attack, and then knock it out once it starts using Sonic Boom. After that, Pikachu falls fast, and Raichu moves first and hits hard with Thunder Shock, but we paralyze it with Body Slam. This cuts its speed and lets us move first to finish it off. Thank goodness for Body Slam, and thank goodness Raichu didn't use Thunderbolt. Hey, at least this time he didn't spam X speeds on the last turn of the battle like he usually does. Heck, that makes about as much sense as waiting to get your Halloween costume until November 1st because it's going on sale. It's already over at that point, or as I like to call it, the sunk costume fallacy. Your boy's got jokes and psychology. After making it past Rock Tunnel, I arrive in Lavender Town to take on the rival Bubs in the Pokemon Tower. Skeleton Kabutops is very much at home in the Pokemon Tower, surrounded by tombstones. Heck, bringing him here is kind of like bring your Pokemon to work day. Especially when you consider that after the last battle, Bubs no longer has his Raticate. I guess it has crossed over to the other side, which makes this area a mausoleum. Well, he sure as should be have replaced it with a good Pokemon though, since Gyarados' Hydro Pump hits very hard. We take it down in 2 Body Slams, and Kadabra falls in 1, but we level up right before the Ivysaur, which resets all of our additional badge boosts. This lets Ivysaur survive, and we're open to a Vine Whip, but we not only paralyze with Body Slam, but get the full paralysis to boot. I'm annoyed we lost our badge boost by leveling up, but I guess it's balanced by the fact that it was more of a temporary condition. So it's trick-or-treatable? Unlike Bubs' Raticate, which is dead as a doornail. I have no confidence that Skeleton Kabutops is ready to take on Erica and a Grass-type Pokemon, so instead, I head to the game corner to take on Giovanni in the Team Rocket hideout. And this battle is really easy, which, considering the time Weedle had with Giovanni in the last video, is a welcome change. Bubble Beam crushes his first two rock and ground types, and Kangaskhan can't do much since we resist its attacks. And these Giovanni battles, oh my god, are going to be so much easier than last week when we were using Weedle. Honestly, that challenge was cursed, and I don't want to talk about it. Because, you know, it's a bit of a sore subject. After defeating Giovanni, I head to the Celadon City Gym just to take a crack at the Erica battle, and I really don't expect to win. I just want to see whether or not Skeleton Kabutops can outspeed her lead Victory Bell. Okay, well, we do outspeed, but we get knocked out by Razor Leaf. That's annoying. Then again, I already knew this was going to be difficult, so no point turning into Krankenstein. A handful of tries later, I critical hit a Body Slam, which puts Victory Bell into range for Erica to use a retroactive Super Potion. You know, like a cheater. That's okay though, since it means it doesn't attack this turn. Sadly, Body Slam misses the KO, but Sleep Powder just straight up misses. Tangela doesn't even have a Grass-type move, so I'm not worried about it. But Vileplume has Mega Drain and Petal Dance. And because I'm worried, I set up Hardens against the Tangela to try to badge boost our attack, so Body Slam will 1-hit KO the Vileplume, and let's just see how it goes. But oh god, Body Slam just misses the KO. But Kabutops manages to survive a double super effective Mega Drain? I didn't even know it could do that! Heck, I was starting to think I had made a grave mistake, but the results were only semi-terrible. It's cemetery. Well, I'm feeling great, a lot better than that joke after defeating Erica, so I've got some pep in my step as I head to the Fuchsia City Gym to take on the Poison-type Gym Leader Koga. Kabutops has really good defense, so I'm not really worried about taking damage from Koga's physical-type attacks. Even so, I'm using Harden for badge boost, but the defense boosts are actually pretty nice. I don't really have to worry about wheezing self-destruct as a result, but I did take a smoke screen from Koga's coughing, so I'm missing moves left and right. Not that it matters, because Body Slam is hitting really hard, making quick work of Koga's mucky yuckies. And I make sure not to teach Slash after leveling up, not because it's not a good move, but because we're using badge boosts, and also I plan to later use a move that will boost other stats, and a move that always critical hits like Slash will ignore all of those. Slash is a good move on its own, but if you think I'm going to give up the major advantages of using badge boost, you're dead crazy. Or as I like to call, a casket case. I've got options as to what we can do next, but I decide to head to the Cinnabar Island Gym to take on Blaine the Fire-type Gym Leader first so that we can get the Volcano Badge to boost our special stat. This battle is a complete sweep. Kabutops double resists fire moves, so there's really nothing Blaine can do to stop us. I don't even need to badge boost with Harden, but I do it anyways just for the extra speed. It is unlikely, but technically we could get infinitely stun locked by Rapidash's Fire Spin without it, so moving first actually is really important. But with badge boost, Skeleton Kabutops outspeeds and destroys Blaine's entire team. And who could have predicted such a tasty win? Or as I like to call it, meaty yummy? Oh god, that joke was terrible. After beating Blaine, I head back to Saffron City for yet another rival battle with Bubs, this time in the Sylph Company building in Saffron City. He leads off with his Pidgeot, whose moves we all resist, so as long as it doesn't go for Sand Attack, we gon' be alright. With 6 badge boosts to our attack stat, we're able to slice and dice our way through Bubs' team. That is, until we level up right before the Venusaur. Yeah, I know, right? Leveling up in this game resets your additional badge boost, meaning we've got less attack and special to fight with. And I'm not sure we could have knocked out Venusaur with Body Slam anyways, but without the special boost, we definitely cannot survive a Vine Whip. This looks like it spells disaster, and since I can't use potions in battle, I might just have to Cauldron away. Well, no, actually, I don't have to do that, because there is a solution, and it's within the Sylph Company building. On a different floor, I pick up the TM for Swords Dance and teach it to Skeleton Kabutops. It's a move that boosts your attack by 2 stages, and it's really good. You can only use 3 of them before your attack stat is maxed out, meaning it only can give 3 badge boosts, which is why I decided to also keep Harden, which can be used 6 times. And even when you factor out any badge boost to attack from Harden, Swords Dance, when it maximizes your attack, means that Body Slam does roughly 4 times the amount it normally would. There's very little in this game that can withstand that kind of firepower, so be sure to feast your eyes upon the carnage. But don't have too much, or you'll get a tummy ache. After beating Bubs, I head upstairs to take care of Giovanni real quick. There's no chance we lose this battle, but it does serve to illustrate a few important points. First of all, we level up right after the Nidorino, which, as I mentioned before, removes additional badge boost, but that doesn't matter that much when Swords Dance is supercharging our body slams. Furthermore, you see that Nidoqueen manages to survive our body slam because of a critical hit, since it ignores our attack boost, which gave more than double the multiplier that the crit would give, but it doesn't matter. Since critical hits are proportional to your base speed in this game, and Skeleton Kabutops has a pretty good speed, we just have to expect that crits are going to happen, so we can either win by the crit or die by the crit. Choose whichever one you haunt. Alright, well now we have to take on the Psychic Gym leader Sabrina at the Saffron City Gym. My only concern with this battle is that Alakazam will outspeed us and can critical hit with a Psychic to knock us out. Thankfully, that should not be an issue since we will be badge boosting our speed with Swords Dance. Things go a little awry though when Kadabra's Psychic lowers our special, meaning we take more damage from Sabrina's attacks, and I just gotta start attacking. But it gets even worse when we level up and lose our speed boost right before the Alakazam. Thankfully though, Alakazam uses Psywave, which does essentially random damage, letting us knock it out with Body Slam. Okay! Woo! I thought the writing was on the wall. How nice of Sabrina to doom me a favor? Now it's time for the final showdown with Giovanni for our final gym badge. Honestly, I could just click Surf repeatedly and probably win this battle, but instead, I decide to exact a little revenge for how awful this battle was during the Weedle video. I set up not only 3 Swords Dances with Kabutops, but also 6 Hardens as well. That's 9 total badge boosts, plus whatever Rhyhorn decides to give us by lowering our defense. With these boosts, Surf absolutely crushes Giovanni's Pokemon, and even when we level up right before the Rhydon, it's enough to wash it away. Giovanni got beat so bad by Surf, he might as well have dunked his own Pokemon in a tub. Or as I like to call it, bobbing for crapples. Cause he's a piece of crap and I hate him. Yeah. Before we can take on the Elite Four, we have to battle the rival Bubs once again. This should be a pretty simple battle, right? We just set up all of our badge boosts and go to town. Pidgeot no longer even has Sand Attack, so I don't have to worry about having our accuracy lowered. So, in the moment, I decide, meh, I don't need the badge boost from Harden, Swords Dance will be enough. Rhyhorn, Gyarados, and Growlithe all get wrecked by Body Slam. But then Alakazam outspeeds and lands a critical hit Psybeam to almost take us out. Oh great, that's fun. Fun! Love it. Even worse, we land a critical hit against the Venusaur, which allows it to survive our Body Slam and smash us in return with Razor Leaf. you know, losing the battle because we landed a crit seems to be happening an awful lot in this game. So much so that it's starting to feel like Kabutops is just trying to prank me. Maybe it's more of a Trolltergeist? Okay, on the next attempt, I make it back to the Venusaur, and somehow, Body Slam critical hits again! Well, I guess we lost, whatever. Oh yeah, by the way, Razor Leaf has a 5% chance to miss. Thank goodness for that. I mean, it's very unlikely. So I guess we got pretty Dracula-lucky to win that vampire battle. Alright, it's time to take on the Elite Four, so here are the stats and moves. Our attack and defense are great, and we've got even halfway decent special. As for the moves, we're still rocking out with the same combo. But we can always switch things up if we have to, and use something like Blizzard if we want. But heck, I don't even know if we need to. Skeleton Kabutops is just that strong. It might be a skeleton, but this thing is way above cadaverage. First up is the Water and Ice type Elite Four member Lorelei. If my predictions are correct, this battle should be completely free. Her lead Dugong will go for rest indefinitely because her quote-unquote smart AI doesn't want to use not very effective moves like Takedown or Aurora Beam. which leaves us free to go for 3 Swords Dances and 6 Hardens. And with a whole heckin' lot of boosted attack, Body Slam crushes through her Pokemon with no sign of stopping. It even 1-hit KOs the Cloyster, which has the highest defense stat in the game. We level up before the Lapras though, so Body Slam doesn't knock it out in 1 hit, which then hits super hard with Hydro Pump. Fun! Hey, we won, but still, Kabutops is looking a little rough around the edges. I think we'll need to sarcophagussy up a little bit before the next battle. With Lorelei defeated, it's time to take on Bruno. Now there's no shot we lose to Bruno here. I'm not even sure we need any badge boost to win. Heck, we might not even need to use Swords Dance at all. Kabutops has naturally good attack and defense, so it might be superfluous, but I get my boost anyways because I am incorrigible. And with all this, Kabutops goes to town on Bruno's team, picking up 5 consecutive 1-hit KOs. In fact, we smacked Bruno around so hard, y'all should start calling Kabutops a slapparition. Now it's time for the Elite Four member Agatha, and this is the first roadblock for Kabutops in the entire game. Unfortunately, Kabutops can't learn the move Rock Slide, which would have made this battle super simple, but instead, we don't have a physical move to use against Agatha's ghosts, which are immune to Body Slam. So I've got to rely on Surf and our much lower special, and her ghosts all have high special. Fun. Plus, unlike the previous 2 Elite Four members, setting up Swords Dance and Harden to badge boost our special is not free. In fact, it's incredibly difficult here. Agatha's Pokemon constantly confuse us or put us to sleep. And then, while we're sleeping, her stupid Golbat will switch in and use Haze to remove all of our boosts. Love that. And I tried this repeatedly and at increasing levels using our rare candies that I collected throughout the game, but I still couldn't win because even with a ton of badge boosts, Surf is only ever a 2-hit KO on her ghost, leaving ample opportunity for her to pull her annoying status shenanigans. And I don't really have any other options for defeating Agatha besides leveling up a little bit, so I guess that's what I've got to do. But I don't like it. After all, when it comes to ghosts, there should be more than one white way to do things. But to each, their tombstone. Alright, no more gradual ramp up. I used all but one of our rare candies, and I just kept trying this battle. I saved one to use just before the champion battle with Bubs, so that we can reset our experience to help prevent leveling up during that battle, since we might need to use badge boost to win that one. As for this battle, it took a ton of resets before I finally managed to win. And you can see just how tenuous the situation was, since I get all of our badge boost, but Skeleton Kabutops is left with super low HP. A single Nightshade will end the battle, and Haze from Golbat will remove all of our progress. Somehow though, through all the confusion coin flips and heartache, we managed to get set up just to crit a Surf and allow the Gengar to survive. This has to be intentional. Has to be. But, thank the gods of Gopher Golf and Ghoulish Goblins, it did not knock us out. So, if we don't land any more critical hits, we are guaranteed to 1-hit KO all of Agatha's Pokemon, including her stronger Gengar in the back. And I say guaranteed because I actually did the math. I know some might think that's overkill, but you never want to have more bid off than you can chew. So I'm just trying to macabre my basis. Next up is the final Elite Four member Lance the Dragon Master. I briefly considered replacing Harden with Blizzard here because Lance's dragons are weak to it, but then I thought about it and realized that it's not necessary. Lance has Smart AI, so the only Pokemon that will actually try to properly attack will be the Gyarados with Hydro Pump. So once I knock it out, which I was going to do with Body Slam anyways, we're good to go. We still need either a Paralysis or for the Gyarados to miss a Hydro Pump, and it turns out I was woefully wrong about how the AI works once the Dragonair introduces Dragon Rage into the mix. You know, that move. I thought it would only use Agility, so by the time I get just a couple of boosts and knock it out, we've only got 12 HP left. The good news is though, again, barring any critical hits, Kabutops is so strong that it can sweep the rest of Lance's team with these boosts like a giant among ants. Reminds me of that one book. You know the one. Skulliver's Travels. Finally, it's time to take on the champion, a rival Bubs. I decided to try this battle first without using the last of our rare candies and just see how it goes. Bubs leads off with his Pidgeot, and right away, we've got ourselves a fun little predicament. We resist all of Pidgeot's moves, but it can also go for Mirror Move to copy our Harden and, even worse, Swords Dance. So we've got all of our boosts, but so does Pidgeot. I guess we're kind of back to square one. Even more so once I knock it out and level up, removing our extra badge boosts. Okay, well, even without the extra speed though, we still managed to outspeed the Alakazam, and Swords Dance makes sure that we take it down with Body Slam. But tragedy strikes when we get to the Gyarados. We land a critical hit, yay, to ignore the Swords Dances, and since it survives, it gets to retaliate with Hydro Pump, which then also critical hits to knock us out. Wee whiz. Alright, this time since I know I'm going to level up right after the Pidgeot, oh yeah, wasn't I supposed to use a rare candy? Anyways, I make sure to only get Swords Dances before knocking it out. That way, we only lose 3 badge boosts when we level up, but we'll still have plus 4 stages of attack boost from the move's intended use. The Alakazam gets taken down by Body Slam once again, and when the Rhydon comes out, I take the chance to set up our 6 Hardens. In fact, I get to set up even more than that, because Rhydon keeps lowering our defense with Leer and Tail Whip, allowing me to raise it yet again with Harden. We've got hella badge boost for the rest of the battle, so now there's no stopping us. Except when we crit the Gyarados again, oh my god! This time though, Hydro Pump doesn't crit, and you can see just how badge boosted our special is. We barely took any damage at all, and Arcanine gets crushed, so it all comes down to the Venusaur. Okay, please don't crit, please don't crit, please don't crit, please don't crit. Huzzah! Oh yeah! Oh, thank God. Glad I didn't have to deal with another Razor Leaf, because we all know that that move would turn our Shellfish into clam chowder. Maybe that's just soup-erstition? And with that, the challenge is over! When I originally concocted the idea for this run, I thought of it as a joke, but in hindsight, Skeleton Kabutops is actually incredibly strong. It's also crazy to think that we could have finished this challenge 10 levels earlier if only Kabutops could learn Rock Slide. But then again, why should a rock-type fossil Pokemon be able to learn Rock Slide? That would just be too crazy, like something way out of Fright Field. As always, I want to thank you all for making it to the end of this video, especially this one, since I know it might be hard to listen to so many Halloween jokes if you're not particularly eerie. These videos are a lot of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can check out the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos as well. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. And if you want early access to these videos and to have your name listed in the credits, consider becoming a member or by joining on Patreon. But that's okay. I understand if you don't, especially since I think I need a break from this. I've been doing this for the better part of 3 years, and I'm tired, and I'm busy, and life's getting pretty crazy now. And also, legitimately, I think Weedle might have broken me. So the thought of doing Ditto or something like that, it's just not a good time. Plus, I really wanted to share videos of my trip to Japan, and that's just not going to happen if I keep doing crazy challenges. But that doesn't mean I'm done forever. So, if you want to see something and you come up with a really cool idea, let me know in the comments what Pokemon, game, whatever you want to see, and I'll probably do it. So, a bit of a sad, somber ending, but then again, perfect for Halloween. So until next time,